This is the plaintiff, Sydney Gilmore. She says her poor dog was viciously killed by the defendant's dog, who jumped her 4-foot fence and trespassed onto her property. The defendant claims his dog's a nice dog. Nice dog, please. She's suing for $2,058.24, the amount she's owed for the loss of her dog and a fence repair. This is the defendant, Leroy Pinckney. He says he doesn't know what happened because he was asleep at the time of the supposed incident. When he saw the woman's puppy, he saw no blood, and no one knows for sure that it was his dog who entered her yard. This whole thing's a mystery to him, and he doesn't feel responsible because no one really knows what happened. He's accused of not knowing his dog's whereabouts.
Okay, Sydney Gilmore, you are suing sort of a neighbor, I guess, nearby you, Leroy Pinckney?
Yes.
For $2,058.24 that you say he owes you as a result of his dog killing your dog.
Yes.
Tell me what happened there.
On March 21st, I was downtown shopping, and I got a phone call from my daughter. This is my daughter.
Hi.
I was also with Douglas, and she called on his phone, and she was hysterical. And she said, there's a huge dog in our backyard, and he has killed Cash. Cash was our dog.
What kind of dog did you have?
I have a picture of our dog. He's a Yorkie. He was a Yorkie. And I also have a picture of the dog, his dog, with my dog in his mouth.
Oh.
This is my dog.
How old was your dog?
He was 3. The object in his mouth is my dog. It's from a cell phone picture.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, so you come home, and both dogs are, well, obviously your dog is in your yard, and this big dog was still in your yard.
Yes.
Now, did you know whose dog that is?
At the time, I did not.
Had you ever seen the dog around before?
I had heard the dog barking, and neighbors had told me that there's a person that has a lot of dogs. As a matter of fact, he has several dogs.
Okay. All the same type of dog or different
He
dogs?
has 8 dogs.
How are you allowed to have 8 dogs in a residence? Did you end up calling animal control?
I called the police. The police came. The police found him, and he called his dog. He said, "Tiger, Tiger," and the dog climbed back across the fence and went home to his yard.
Can I speak to your daughter a moment? Come on up.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Did you actually see a struggle take place, or when you looked out, it was over?
It was over. I was in the bathroom. I had let him out in the backyard, and I came out of the bathroom and I saw his dog first. I got a little closer.
Did you have a fence around the yard?
Yes.
What kind of fence did you have around the yard?
This is a picture of was it 4 feet, 4-foot chain link fence.
That's 4 feet?
Yes.
How did the dog get into your yard?
I don't know how it climbed. I didn't see it climb into my yard. I saw it in my yard.
No, but I mean, do you have a theory, is what I'm asking.
Well, when he went home, when he said, "Tiger, Tiger."
Yeah, how'd it go home?
The dog is strong. It's unbelievably strong. And he took his chest and sort of laid over the fence and took his bottom legs and climbed over through the chain links.
What's going on?
I don't know. I was home asleep, and the cops came and said your dog got out. So I called him. So he came from...
Where did the dog come from?
He came from the next door, but not her place. She lived on
Is there a
Decatur
fence on the
Street.
next door house to you?
Yeah.
How'd your dog get out of that yard?
I don't know.
So then, according to you, the police have knocked on your door.
Yes.
And your dog is out. How did your dog get out?
Miss, I got a 7-foot fence
It's
there.
Your Honor, it's not Miss. How did your dog get out? I have a 7-foot
don't
fence.
know.
Your dog is just, you know, Tiger, the amazing jumping dog.
Are pit bulls more dangerous than the average dog?
Yes, they are.
You think so?
Yes.
You buying that?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
Because I think it depends on like how you treat the dog and how you're training it.
So there are so many bad pit bull owners, that's why pit bulls attack. Is that the answer?
I don't think so.
I don't either, going inside the courtroom.
The dog's getting out somehow, folks, so it's either able to jump, you know, building in a single bound, you know, or I don't know what's going on. Something's going on.
I don't know.
But we know your dog got out.
Yes.
How many dogs do you have?
He was out of my yard.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So, and how many dogs do you have?
My dog had pups.
So how many dogs
I
do you
got
have?
7 at the time.
Okay, how many dogs do you have?
2.
2 now.
Yeah.
All right. Now, when you see that your dog was out and you hear people screaming and crying because their dog has been killed, do you talk to them?
I went around there to her house, and I talked to her.
What'd you say?
And I said, I'm sorry the dog got out, but I didn't see no blood. She showed me the dog. I didn't see no blood.
Did you see a dead dog?
I seen her dog.
Right. What did you?
It was in a box.
Okay.
The dog was in a box. I don't see no blood or nothing like that.
Well, the dog was very, very dead, though, right?
Yeah, yes,
okay.
it was.
So, all right.
So she said, your dog was in the yard and killed my dog.
And you said, I'm sorry.
I said, I'm sorry. I said, so I give her $500.
Right there?
No, the next day.
The next day you gave her $500. And what did she say to you?
She said to me that I thought you were going to give me $1,250 or $1,200.
And the $1,200 figure was the cost of the dog?
Yes.
She said that I paid $1,200.
I understand. Why didn't you pay the remaining $700 and something then?
Miss, I'm on a fixed income. I didn't have the money.
Okay,
but
so
I
you
would
agree
pay
to do
her.
it, but you will pay it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I would pay her.
Come on up. Who are you to him?
I'm his grandson.
You're
I
his
take care of the dogs.
Okay.
So
How'd the dog get out if you're supposed to be taking care of it?
actually, I didn't lock the fence. I didn't lock the dog in that day. I did not lock
Nice
the dog
going.
rushing. Yeah, I know.
There was a huge consequence to another family because of that.
I sincerely apologize. Didn't mean any harm. I didn't mean any harm.
All right,
And my
how many
dad,
dogs are there now?
2 dogs and 2 puppies. There
Okay,
now.
so there's 4 dogs, not 2.
Right.
All right, and is that, what kind of dog is that?
It's a King Corso.
Those are pretty strong dogs, right?
Yes, they are.
Your Honor, I would like to.
When he gave you the $500, did you explain to him, no, the dog cost a lot more than that?
The way he's telling it is not quite how it happened.
Okay, in your complaint, you say that his wife told you that's all the dog is worth?
Yeah, I went over to the house to speak with Mr. Pickney after he expressed his sympathy and that he had pups. I was contemplating maybe taking a pup, and I went over to talk to him about it. He wasn't there. His wife came to the door, and his wife told me that dogs depreciate like cars with value once you take them out of the pet shop, and that they didn't have the money, and we basically weren't getting the rest of the money for the dog.
So now you are suing for $764 and change, which is the rest of the amount that you paid for the dog. And I see, let me see the original receipt. I saw a copy of it, but I want to see the original
Of the
receipt.
dog?
Of the dog, yeah. The original receipt, which you have luckily kept. This is why you keep stuff from '07. And no, dogs don't depreciate.
Thank you.
And I can see that, in fact, you did pay $1,264.34. All right. Now, what you're also suing for is a fence, because you ended up building a bigger fence because you didn't want the dog to come in again.
This is the type of fencing that they have. Could you show her how it's sort of broken and open and they're standing on some sort
That
of...
wooden piece wasn't there, and that's the space.
And it's not attached, it's not affixed to anything, so they could come in and out. And another thing, I think they allow their dogs to just run. Maybe not now, but at that time, they used to allow their dogs to just run throughout people's backyard. Next to their house are squatter houses, and so these dogs run back and forth through these yards. After this tragedy with my dog, I still see these dogs running and barking at my yard. And I have children that visit my house and play in the backyard. And when I saw that, I said, you know, it's a terrible thing to happen to my dog, but what if it happened to these children? And I immediately went about buying another fence and installing.
Let me see the fence.
This to show that the
This fence is how tall?
That's 6
6 feet?
feet. That's the dogs laying on,
These
lounging.
are the pups? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Because these dogs are fully grown.
Yes.
How do you define pups?
A dog that's under a year.
Under a year. Okay.
Yes.
These dogs are how old?
Under a year.
So these dogs are all gone, you're saying?
I can't
Okay,
see
1,
it.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dogs in this picture. There's not 7 dogs at the house
No,
anymore?
no.
You guys letting your dogs run wild?
There's no one living next door.
So it's okay to let him,
It's
let the dog go there?
It's abandoned building next
So
door.
it's okay to just let the dog go there because it's
That's
abandoned?
what the puppies run loose, but the big dogs are in the
Okay,
pen.
nobody's supposed to be running loose. Not the pups, not the big dog. No dog is supposed to be running loose because they're animals and things like this can happen.
Being neighborly, we offered to pay what we
Okay.
could pay for the dog.
I honestly, here's what I don't get, okay? Because I'm gonna fix it and I'm gonna fix it. You working?
Not at the moment.
No.
Okay, well then maybe you need to get something because if in fact they're the dogs you're supposed to be taking care of and you feel bad because you left the gate open, which I don't think is the case. I think that the dogs were getting out because that gate maybe wasn't secure. Or worse, I think the dogs are let out. I don't think it was an accident. Okay, because I just heard him testify that the pups run, but not the big ones. Yeah, that's it. Well, no, that's not true. Because if you're the kind of person who thinks your pups can run around, then you're the kind of person who thinks that the big dog can run around. And that's a problem. Because typically in a case like this, I would make you pay nothing more than the rest of the value of that dog.
Man.
But I'm going to do it differently in this case. Because I hear the testimony that just came from that podium. And I am not going to put them in a position where they have to sit back and watch how many more times the dog... Put your hand down because you're not going to keep talking. How many more times the dogs have to run loose before they take measures to protect their children and any subsequent pets? I find in favor of the plaintiff in this case for the cost of the fence as well as for the rest of the cost of the dog. $2,058.24.
Well, I'm sure the plaintiffs appreciated it when you turned and said you were sorry to them, but the cost is the cost, and therefore you lose this case. You had your hand up to say something else.
I wanted to try to explain to the judge that nobody has their dogs locked in like we got our dogs. We have individual pens for our dogs. Everybody lets their dogs out in their yard. Their yard is a big
your
yard.
individual yard,
Individual yards. And each individual yard has a
Is
fence.
there any chance those dogs can get loose again and something like this could possibly happen again?
No, no, the dogs couldn't get out of the fence because they're not only in the individual fence, they're in the pen inside the little fence. So, no, I doubt that ever happening again.
You're still coexisting. Those are your neighbors.
Yeah, those are my neighbors.
And anything you want to say before you head out?
I apologize again.
Okay. All right. Right around the corner there, okay? Come on in. I know you hear that from him because you say thank you each time he does apologize. Step in here. What are your thoughts?
I'm just glad that she ruled in our favor, and I think it was just.
What's the neighborhood like now? Do you feel they're good neighbors?
I don't know. We still have fear. I still hear the dogs barking. I don't believe it's just 4 dogs. I think they still have all the dogs.
He says they're penned in and can't get out.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it, or you've seen it? Or?
They would never pinned in. If they were pinned in, they would have never gotten out, and Cash wouldn't be dead.
Okay. Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, if you have a problem with a really irresponsible dog owner, call the Department of Animal Control in your jurisdiction. They can investigate and ultimately take the dog away if the owner won't do the right thing.